Okay, picture this. You're at a red light. You're sitting up high, wrapped in that new leather smell. The dash is lit up like a cockpit, and you're looking down on pretty much everyone else on the road.
It feels good, doesn't it? I mean, it's this feeling of pure capability. Like you could haul a house off its foundation or just conquer any challenge that comes your way. And that's exactly what the ads want you to feel. But what if that feeling is just a really, really expensive illusion?
Because let's be real for a second. Your day job, it's in an office. The toughest terrain you navigate is the speed bump at the grocery store. That giant truck bed, the one that's designed for gravel and 2x4s, has maybe seen a bag of potting soil. Once.
And that is the question we're here to answer. Not the sticker price, not the monthly payment the dealer gets you to focus on, but what is the real cost of feeling like a rugged outdoorsman while you're commuting to your 9 to 5?
So let's dive right in. Section 1. We're calling this the $90,000 illusion. This is what happens when the thing in your driveway is worth more than a year of your hard work. And trust me, the numbers are pretty shocking.
Just take a second and let that sink in. A fully loaded pickup truck today can easily cost more than the median American household makes in an entire year. We're not talking about buying a house, which is an asset that grows in value. We're talking about a machine that starts losing value the second you drive it off the lot.
Okay, Section 2. Running the real numbers. You see, the dealership loves to talk about that low monthly payment, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's break down all the other costs they conveniently forget to mention.
First up, the most obvious one, fuel. Your brand new truck is probably getting, 15 miles to the gallon on a good day? A decent sedan gets more than double that. So right off the bat, you're lighting an extra $2,000 a year on fire just to get to and from the same places. And tires. Oh yeah, we got to talk about the tires. You know, those giant knobby all-terrain tires you just had to have for your asphalt commute. Well, when it's time to replace them, you're looking at a bill that's literally 3 times higher than it would be for a normal car.
And here's the kicker, the interest. Because almost nobody buys these things with cash, you're taking out a massive loan. Over 7 years, that can add up to almost $25,000 in pure interest payments. That's money you're just giving away to the bank for the privilege of being in debt.
So, let's put it all together. You add up the car payment, the extra gas, the higher insurance, the more expensive maintenance and tires, and the picture gets really, really clear. This isn't just a small step up, it is a massive financial leap.
Over $1,000, $1,104 to be exact, every single month. That isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. That's a huge leak in your financial boat, and it starts to sink everything else in your life.
Which brings us to Section 3, the life cost. Because a payment that big doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It has a way of poisoning your entire financial future for years and years to come.
This right here is what we call opportunity cost. If you had just taken that monthly difference, that $1,104, and invested it, even in something simple, you'd have over $100,000 in 7 years. Instead, what do you have? You have a 7-year-old used truck.
And the damage just keeps spreading. That massive payment tanks your debt-to-income ratio, which means banks won't give you a mortgage. You can't build an emergency fund. So when the water heater breaks, it goes on a high-interest credit card. You start skipping vacations, not because you're busy, but because you're broke. It creates so much stress.
And this is the real tragedy. That truck, that symbol of freedom and capability, actually becomes a pair of golden handcuffs. You're stuck in a job you don't love because you have to make that payment. You can't take a risk, you can't start a business, you can't pivot your career. The truck owns you.
So, Section 4, the masculinity myth. If the math is just so obviously terrible, why on earth do so many people make this choice? Well, it's because this was never a financial decision to begin with. It was an emotional one.
There's this psychological principle called hedonic adaptation. Basically, it means that amazing, thrilling feeling you get when you drive the new truck home, it wears off fast. After a few months, it's just your truck. You don't even notice it anymore. But that payment? Oh, that shows up right on time every single month for 7 years. The thrill is temporary, but the bill is permanent.
Now I know what you're thinking. This is the argument I hear all the time. But wait, trucks hold their value better than cars. It's practically an investment. Okay. You know what? Let's run those numbers too.
Sure, it's true, trucks often lose a smaller percentage of their value, but you're starting from a number that is wildly higher. So in 5 years, yeah, that truck has lost only 40% of its value, but that's a $36,000 loss. The sedan lost more than half its value, but that's only a $15,000 loss. You have still lost more than double the actual real dollars.
You know, in economics there's a term for this. It's called a Veblen good. It's a luxury item where the high price tag is actually part of the appeal. Why? Because it signals status. You're not really buying a tool to do a job. You're buying a giant rolling billboard that advertises to the world, hey, look at me, I can afford this huge payment.
Which brings us to our final section, winning the real game. Because here's the good news. You don't have to play this game at all. You can choose to get off the hamster wheel and reclaim your money and, more importantly, your freedom.
And the way out is actually pretty simple. Step 1, just stop. Opt out of this whole culture that ties your identity to your vehicle. 2, choose the boring option, maybe a nice, reliable 3-year-old sedan. 3, you take back that $1,000+ a month for yourself. And 4, you use that money to build an actual life, one with savings and vacations and options.
I think this really gets to the heart of it. We've been completely brainwashed to think that success is measured by the stuff we can finance. But real success, true wealth, that's about freedom. It's about having a big enough savings account, not a big enough car payment. It's having the freedom to say no to a bad job and yes to a real opportunity.
So in the end, it really just comes down to this one question. And you have to be honest with yourself. Are you buying a way to get from point A to point B, or are you signing up for a 7-year sentence in a financial prison that just happens to have really nice upholstery?